So for the female, I did the same cut. I cut through the pubic symphysis to open her up. And what I've done down here is I've gone up the side of the vestibule. Now cats have a slightly different arrangement than humans. So in a human, the urethral opening and the vaginal opening to the outside are separate. Okay, in a cat, the urethra and vagina come together and form a single tube, a urogenital sinus called the vestibule. It's right here. In a human, the vestibule exists, but it's outside, it's external. In a cat, it's internal. And if you look at these and they're not too dry, a lot of times you can see the rugae in the walls here. Why would the rugae be important for the vestibule? They're also in the vagina for humans. Why would that help? Right, so when the baby is being delivered, that has to stretch. If that were a smooth tube, and then you had a large object start to go through it and stretch those muscles, what would happen? They'd contract against the stretch, the baby would never get out. So by having those rugae in there, it unfolds and the baby can just fly out then. Okay. If we go up in here, right where I put my probe, you would find the urethral opening. I will not tag that there, but that's where it is. It's on the ventral side of the vestibule, and then on the dorsal side of the vestibule would be the vagina. And I'm not going to tag that either because you can't really see it. Okay. Then we have, if we pull this back, right here we have the body of the uterus. And then we have the horns of the uterus. There's a uterine horn on the left side and a uterine horn on the right side. The one on the right side in this cat's a little better shape, so we'll take a look at that. Now if I pull this back, you're going to see there's this little ligament right here. See it? That's a round ligament of the uterus. The round ligament of the uterus goes to the internal inguinal opening. And so that's the same structure that I showed you in the bull testicle. When I picked the fascial sac up and the testicle didn't fall out, it's the same structure, just has a different name. Gubernaculum testis is what it's called. It would come to me eventually. All right, we have in a cat something we don't have in humans. We have horns of the uterus. So if you look at this, have any of you ever been to Walsh roast beef? Has anybody ever seen the Walsh roast beef ad? They have this sign. It looks like the head of a cow with two horns. You know what I'm saying? That's where they got this from. They were looking at a cat. So here's the body of the uterus is like the head of the cow, and then the horns are like the horns. Right? So these are uterine horns. And if you look over here, you see something that looks like a shower curtain. That's peritoneum, and it's called the broad ligament of the uterus. This little thing over here is not peritoneum. That used to be that duct, the gubernaculum. That's the round ligament of the uterus, and then this is the horn of the uterus. And then up here, we have like a raincoat hood that goes over the ovary. So this little bean-looking thing right here is the ovary. Whoop! Somebody's not doing their job. Can't trust them. So that's the ovary, and this is the infundibulum. The infundibulum is like a raincoat hood. So if you look at me again for a second, I'll show you what I mean by that. If this is the ovary, the infundibulum literally goes over it like a raincoat hood. So you know how if you have a raincoat hood on, it's not attached to your head, it just covers your head, right? Same deal here. This is not attached, it just kind of covers it. It has a loose association. And the infundibulum on the deep side, I'm not sure if I can see it. Yeah, right here, you can see there's like a tube. See that little tube right there? That's the uterine tube, or oviduct, or fallopian tube. Okay? And that has cilia inside of it. And so what happens is an ovum is released from the ovary. The cilia in the uterine tube are creating a current, and that ovum gets swept into the uterine tube, and then it gets pushed down into the uterus. Now in a human, there aren't any uterine horns, so it's just the body. But Humans normally only have one child at a time, usually. There are exceptions. So for example, Mom had 8, but she had a litter, but that was kind of weird, right? Most people don't do that. Cats, on the other hand, have litters. If they had, let's say, 5 kittens and they were all in the body of the uterus, it wouldn't work out. They would probably have a premature delivery and they would probably all die and there would be all kinds of issues. So what happens is in cats and other animals that have litters, the fetuses all line up in here sort of like peas in a pod. And this cat does not look as though she'd ever been pregnant, but had she been pregnant, the uterine ones would have been bigger diameter. And if she were pregnant when she died, you would have seen little, like I said, peas in a pod is probably a good analogy. We've had some cats that have been pregnant that have gone pretty close to full term, and when they do, the abdomen is distended a lot to accommodate all those kittens. Okay, so we'll go through the structures here. We have the ovary. Get back over here. The ovary is like a little bean. We have the infundibulum. We have the uterine tube inside the infundibulum. We have the uterine horn. We have the uterine body right here, the body of the uterus, and then we have the vestibule. And as I said, I won't tag the vagina. I won't tag the urethra down at this level. If I tag the urethra, it'd be up here closer to the urinary bladder. This cat had a full urinary bladder when it died. And so the muscles were all stretched out. Eventually the urine leaked out and the bladder just ends up looking like a party balloon that deflated. Okay, this cat would also have the levator ani right here. Same structure. Ooh, can't see it. Right here. That's the levator ani. Okay. And that's the vestibule. I could tag the vestibule. In the bull testicle, the only thing I could tag inside the testicle would be the vas efferents. You can't really tag seminiferous tubules or the greedy testes, they're too small to see. All right, so the last thing I'll do is I'll go through the great sperm adventure with you and kind of